Quit playing with your toy and do the video.
Let's keep the jetpack away from the Nazis, all right? Hey Misfits, this is Misfit Anthony with another Under the Lid with the Rocketeer Fate of the Future. Now, I am a huge Rocketeer fan, actually. I was a young lad when the Rocketeer came out in theaters, which actually was a redo of an old strip, like an old comic strip. So I think it was an old radio serial back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. So basically the gist was, of course, that the Rocketeer is a guy with a jetpack, basically, because, you know, jetpacks were super futuristic back then. I think they still are, maybe, kind of, sort of. And the Nazis were trying to get it so they could have jetpack troopers that would be unstoppable, which honestly, unshielded guys with pistols flying jetpacks I don't think would be that powerful, but whatever, that's a whole other thing. In either case, it was a super cool series, and he was kind of an early superhero that just basically had a jetpack and a gun. Oddly enough, they don't give a gun with a toy, but that's a whole other story. So I was super excited to see that Funko made a Rocketeer game because I just love the property. I just thought it was a really cool kind of nostalgia, kind of shticky concept. So we're going to take a look at what's under the lid here, Fate of the Future, and I know it's a two-player game. I was still super excited to get it because we do love our two-player games, but it is a two-player game only, so keep that in mind. But let's take a look at this sucker, and we'll see what we got. Now, I love the cover of this. It's kind of an old-timey looking Rocketeer cover, just very, very cool looking. As we open the box, on the top, we have the Rocketeer helmet. Now, I love this design. This is very much encapsulates like 40s design, you know. It's very simple yet ornamental at the same time because you need spoilers on everything. So the idea was the fin on the head helps him turn the jetpack, you know what I mean, instead of having fins on the back of the jetpack or something. So that's super cool. It just looks really cool, a little creepy in its own way. Prepare yourself for a shock. I'm the Rocketeer. The Rocka-hoo. So super cool. I actually went to, they used to have the set for the Rocketeer in the Disney backlot here in Orlando, believe it or not. So I actually would go on that just to see, like, they had a couple of the backlot areas they used for the movie because everything was shot in backlot back in the day. They certainly didn't, you know, do so much location shooting back in the day as they do these days. So we have our two-player board. You have your different locations from the movie, Bulldog Cafe, Chapel Airfield, the Observatory. And if you haven't seen The Rocketeer, go back. It's actually a really cool old movie. In fact, I might watch it after this. I'm going to find my Blu-ray copy and pop that in one of these nights because it was just a cool old movie. Jennifer Connelly, I think, was in that, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it? Yeah, and you can never argue with Jennifer Connelly. The board looks very nice. I like it. And the thing that Funko Games does is they do an awesome thematic thing with all of their games. It just looks and feels like the movie. Even the 40s theme here is a 40s, 50s, well, no, 40s because it's Nazis. Yeah, because not World War II. Yeah, I was getting there. So just looks very cool. Has a very 40s feel to it. Kind of old schematic-y looking stuff, and just everything looks very, very nice. Like that 40s kind of new age, whatever design they called it back in the day, where everything was like futuristic, or they tried to make it futuristic. Again, props to you guys for unpunching your tokens. Funko Games seems to have the monopoly on token unpunching. I hope other manufacturers get on board with this, but you get a bag of tokens instead of like 4 pieces of cardboard. They did the work for you. I don't know who they hired at the factory to do this, but yeah, other guys get on this. That's really cool. We don't have to bother spending an hour and a half on punching tokens. I exaggerate slightly, but some games, goodness. So I have your tokens here. Looks like very cool tokens. I don't know what any of them mean, but they're very nice. Kind of, again, 40s, keeping that 40s initial design or whatever. They're just very cool looking. We're going to pull out another big package here. It looks like you have your characters that you can play in it. Now, this is a two-player versus game, so I'm curious to how it plays out later on. But we'll take a look at that later in another video. We got Jenny Blake. You got PvP Body. I just love that name. You got Lothar, who was, I think, one of the mafia guys. The Nazis hired mafia guys to help them steal the rocket pack. So they had this weird looking dude. Lothar is just this huge mechanic looking dude. Eddie Valentine, who was the head mafia guy. And then, of course, you got Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer. Looks awesome in his the Rocketeer outfit. That's just some great art. That is just some awesome art, guys. You do such a good job with this. And then, of course, Neville Sinclair, who was I think he was he the bad guy?
Yes, that's the bad guy.
Who was the bad guy? Okay, Neville Sinclair. Yeah, he was Timothy Dalton back in the day, and he was a secret Nazi basically. And then you have the Luxembourg board here, North America Good World Tour, back when we had such things as blimps before they all blew up. And those look super cool. So that's another board you have. And then, of course, you got your cards. Let's see what we got here, guys. You got Finale, which I don't know what this is all. Oh, okay, I'm flipping it the wrong way. So I guess you have a Finale thing going on. You have You have some rocket. Oh, the plans for the rocket. So I guess maybe you argue with the rocket. They had a couple different rocket plans. I remember one looked really bad looking. It just looked like goofy. Like, how is that even plausible? And then you had your different point cards for the, I guess, the finale of the game. You gotta rack up points at the end. You get different goals. It looks like +1 point for each opposing character is knocked out. So you get points by doing different things at the end of the game because it's kind of a 2-player versus, like I said, game. And I get to the actual cards itself. Take a look here. So we got reference cards here. Of course, I always love reference cards. They're very cool. And then you have, oh, that's cool. Look, they kind of have to do a Star Gazette, like a Gazette card here that looks like the newspaper. Clown show becomes frown show, and goon on the loose. Man flies without plane. There's cool stuff like that. There's very 40-ish headlines. I actually really like that. And then you have your other cards here, of course, too. You have the heroes and the villains. And it goes through, you know, with the Nazis, snatch and grab, things that the villains do. So obviously one side plays the villains, and one side plays the heroes. So obviously someone's going to be the bad guys playing their cards here. And you got Secret Army, Determination, My Own Stunts, things like that. And then you have the heroes making headlines. Grand Heroics, got the Rocketeer there with his pistol. Rocket Charge, Pack of Wallops, Speaking Role, Teamwork. Sell it for scrap. So it looks like each player has their own deck. One guy's the bad guys, one guy's the good guys, trying to figure out, you know, if you're a Nazi or the Rocketeer. Or an American, I should say. An American. Right? Sounds about right? Yeah.
Go America.
Go America. America.
Nazis bad.
Nazis bad. So last but not least, of course, my favorite part, the mini part. And like I've said before, they do great jobs on these minis. They give them solid little sculpts, even though they're not, you know, high-end stuff, but they're just very solid, very nice minis. They didn't skimp on them. And they look very nice. Oh, I love that. That just looks awesome. Rocketeer. I actually really want to paint this now. So it has like the, you know, jetpack. You know, I don't know how it doesn't fry his butt every time he takes off. I mean, you'd think there'd be like a butt flap or something, you know, because it's just pure, you know, fire shooting out of his back. But it looks awesome either way. This looks like Peabody. And this looks like the heroine. What's her name again? I totally forgot her name now. Was it Jenny Blake? It was Jenny Blake. Look at you. Jenny Blake. And I just remember the actress. And then we have the bad guys, of course. We have the big thug guy. We have Timothy Dalton Sinclair. And then we have the mafia guy, head mafia guy. Trademark Italian mafia guy, right? Eddie Valentine. And then we have a blimp mini, which there's a little stand. So you get a little blimp mini that's super cool. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put that on because that's pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of blimps. Even though they were death traps, I'm a big fan of blimps. There you go. This looks super cool. Who knew that a helium could blow up?
Helium doesn't blow up.
Yeah, thought it was helium that blows up.
Hydrogen blows up.
And then helium.
They're two different things.
Oh my God.
This is science fail today, boys and girls. But it looks super awesome. So the game looks great. I absolutely love the presentation, of course. Like everything they do, the theme is on point. It just looks awesome. We'll go over that in another review video, of course, after we play this thing. I can't wait to get to the table. And who should I be, the good guys or the Nazis when I play you, hun?
The bad guys, of course.
Oh, I mean, of course, I'm the bad guys. Obviously, it's my goatee. It just makes me bad. So, thanks again, guys, for attending another Under the Lid. This has been the Rocketeer by Funko Games. Thanks again. If you like what we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, guys, and game on.